Greetings friends, Jawless Paul here. Wanted to talk a little bit about the resources of Hades 2. There are a lot more resources now than there were in the first game. And just wanted to go over each of them and how they work and also how you gather them. Because at the beginning of the game, the only things you can gather are the plants on the ground until you complete an incantation that lets you start collecting the gathering tools. The first thing you can get is the crescent pick with a little bit of ashes, and then you need 4 silver for the tablet of peace, 8 silver for the silver spade, both of which this is for gathering souls that actually give you grasp or psyche, I guess it's called. And then the silver spade is for gathering seeds, which I'll talk about in a minute. And then the rod of fishing requires faded fabric and bronze. Don't worry about the rod of fishing for a while. It's going to be a little bit before you're going to get any fish in the game. Just be patient with that one. But it requires bronze, which you don't get that until way later in the game. And there's a little bit, I don't want to give too much away. There's a little bit of a spoiler there. But yeah. That's you're going to want to get the tablet of peace and the silver spade. So just start doing runs first thing and grab as much silver as you can find. Not to get too overwhelming, but there's all of these different resources that you can find in the game, and they unlock progressively as you play. But I wanted to divide this video into a couple different categories and talk about each of the items in each of those categories, because as you play the game, you'll find incantations that'll just have a symbol and a name, and you won't really know where that item is from. Like if it's from a different part of the game than you're in, it won't make any sense. You won't have seen it before. There are some items, so this is a little bit of a spoiler here before I continue. If you really don't want to know more, basically the gist of it is each area of the game has a different type of resource, both a mining resource, a gathering, and a digging resource, like a seed that you're going to plant in a garden, and then that's going to give you a plant resource. And so as you play the game, you'll get all them that way. But if you want to learn a little bit more and go into more depth, I do have to reveal a few early game and mid game and late game, sort of late game spoilers. So anyway, just so you know. So from here on out, we're going to be talking a little bit more freely. I'll try to avoid spoilers where I can, but certain things can't be avoided. The game is divided into 2 different types of runs. There are underworld runs and surface runs, and you probably knew that if you watched the trailer. They kind of allude to it, that she's going to both places to solve problems. But yeah, in the underworld, you'll find certain resources. In the surface, you'll find different resources, but at the beginning of the game, you really are only able to go to the underworld. So just be patient. You're going to see a few things that are only available on the surface, and I'll explain what those things are. You'll have to complete the Knight's Craftwork incantation, which reveals the gathering tools in the silver pool. This requires just a little bit of molly, one molly, which you should have gathered if you saw it on the ground. That's important to do that right away. You're also going to want to get the summoning of mercantile fortune. This gives you the wretched broker, which I'll show you in a second what this looks like. And it's nice and quick. It happens right away. It doesn't require you to wait for it to cook or anything. You talk to the wretched broker. And then from here, you can buy ashes, psyche, and faded fabric with bones. Eventually, you'll be able to buy other resources as well. I'll show you my more advanced save file in here in just a second. But just know that there's a lot of resources that you'll want to pick up through the wretched broker. And so collecting bones early is actually a really good idea. It's obviously more efficient to just grab, if you're looking for ashes and psyche, which you should be at the beginning, you're going to want to just get those from your runs directly. But bones are great for just about everything else that you're gonna find in the game. All right, I'm going to jump over now to my other save file and kind of show you a little bit more what all these resources look like, because like I said, it gets overwhelming. They started out simply enough, but it gets pretty overwhelming eventually. Let's start here with things that you gather with the mining pick. That's the first thing, the first gathering tool that you get is the mining pick. So the mining pick, you get silver from Erebus. This is the first area of the game. You're just going to find this scattered around, and you use the mining pick to gather that. You also find limestone. This is found in Oceanus, the second zone of the underworld. Glass rock is found in the morning fields of the underworld, which is the third area. And then marble is found in Tartarus, which is the last area that you go to before you fight the Underworld boss. And then once you reach the surface, you can start mining bronze. And then that's in the city of Ephyra. Iron is on the Rift of Thessaly. Adamant is on Mount Olympus. And fangs, that's fangs are gathered. Serpent scales are mined on the Olympus summit. Okay, so those are all the mining resources that you will be able to get, and you don't need to level up your mining pick to gather any of these. If you find them at any point, you can mine them. Oh, I should say I didn't mention flux. When you go to Chaos's realm, and if you don't know about Chaos's realm, I've talked about Chaos before, but basically you go into Chaos's realm through these little holes in the ground, and you have to sacrifice a little bit of health in order to go in there. And then you can sometimes find special resources that are only available in Chaos's realm. If that sounds like those are hard to find, you are right. But usually when you go in, you'll find some of these resources. Okay, so that's all the mining, the crescent pick items. There are also gathered items, which you don't need any gathering resource for or any gathering tool for. You just pick it up off the ground. The first thing you're going to find is Molly. That's an Erebus. Lotus in Oceanus. Let's see here. Myrtle is found in the morning fields. Let's see. Yes, shade rot is found in Tartarus as a gathering resource in Tartarus. Moss is found on the surface in the city of Ephyra. And then you're going to find driftwood in the Rift of Thessaly. You're going to find, let's see. Yes, iris on Mount Olympus. And nope, that's you have to dig for that. Snake reed. Let's see, that's grown as well. Okay, sorry. Thalamus. Nope, that's also not gathered. So the last gathering resource is the fangs, which are on the Olympus summit. I think that was everything that you can gather. Darkness is found in Chaos. I mentioned Chaos is you find Chaos realm gates on the ground, little circles. I mentioned those. And then there's also seeds. So seeds are found, these little like brown patches on the ground, and you'll need the silver spade for those. And it requires a certain amount of silver to unlock that. And with the silver spade, you'll dig up seeds, and the seeds are for a variety of different things. And so nightshade in Erebus, cattails are found in Oceanus. Oh yeah, wheat in the morning fields, and then poppy seeds found in the city of in Tartarus. And then once you reach the city of Ephyra, you can start gathering garlic cloves by digging them up, mandrake seeds in the Rift of Thessaly, olive branches on the Mount Olympus, and then plankton on the Olympus summit, and they all grow different plants. I don't think I mentioned origin seeds. This is the other resource found in the Chaos realm. You need these for a few different incantations. Very, very important. You take those seeds and you're going to grow them in the little patch that you have here. And this patch will start out with just 3. And then as you unlock more things in the cauldron, you'll expand it. And then eventually you're able to plant like multiple seeds at once with a single button. So I planted all of this garlic in just one button. It's very, very nice. So if you're feeling like it's kind of slow to do everything, just understand that it does get better. So that's how you gather those different things. You'll also see things that are boss items. So things that bosses drop. Let's see. Let's start with the Guardian of Erebus drops Cinder. The Guardian of Oceanus drops Pearls. Tears are dropped from the Guardian of Morning Fields. And then Zodiac Sand is dropped by the Guardian of Tartarus. And then once you get to the city of Ephyra, wool is dropped by the Guardian of the city of Ephyra. A feather is dropped. Oh, wait, we missed one. The golden apple is a greenery. That's why. Golden apples are dropped by the Guardian of the Rift of Thessaly, which is the second area of the surface. Feathers are dropped by the Guardian of Mount Olympus. So that's the third area. And then Void Lens is dropped by the Olympus Summit boss. Okay. And then there are some common items that you're going to find like early on. You're going to find bones, ashes, psyche, faded fabric. These are just dropped. Well, faded fabric is a little bit interesting. You have to get it from the Wretched Broker or Arachne, or sometimes other NPCs that you find during your runs can get you Faded Fabric. This one's a little bit harder to find though. These three are very common. This one's a little bit harder. Gemstones come later on. Don't worry about these. These are mostly, as in Hades 1, gemstones are mostly for getting decorations in your home, cosmetic stuff in the game. Don't worry, they're not like aftermarket purchases or anything. Shadow is a little bit hard to get. This is used for incantations, and it's you have to brew it at the cauldron. I'll show you what that looks like there here in a minute. You also get entropy, which we don't have yet. Haven't gotten entropy. Moon dust can be obtained from the Wretched Broker. You can also brew it in the cauldron eventually. You'll get an incantation for that. Stardust is from the pitch black stone. So this is also a little bit of a spoiler. Eventually you get an incantation to unlock the pitch black stone, which is a just a way like kind of like a trials thing. And as you do each of these, they're like little different challenges that you go on, and then you get rewarded a little bit of that stardust. And those are used for other things, like recipes and different incantations. There are so many incantations in the game that just require so many different resources. I didn't mention what moon dust is used for. Moon dust is for your altar, your ashes altar. Each of these cards can be upgraded using moon dust, and so long as if you want to upgrade these, that's the resource that you'll need. I've already upgraded everything, because that's one of the things that you do. It's like the grind, the early grind. Nightmare is used to unlock the truth strength of the nocturnal arms. So as you play, you'll get new weapon aspects. You could level up the weapons. You can level up the weapons to rank 5, and they require a certain amount of metals, usually. Sometimes other things that you would gather with the tools that I mentioned earlier, and you would also need shadow to eventually, or nightmare, excuse me, nightmare to get the final levels of them. So this is sort of like if you played Hades 1, it's sort of like blood. Like you get nightmare by playing at higher difficulty. You can also purchase nightmare from the Wretched Broker eventually. You also get nightmare sometimes. So if you play at a high enough fear level and you get to the final zone of either the surface or the underworld, sometimes there'll be an altar and it'll just be sitting there, and if you have a high enough fear, you just pick the resource up. It's actually really nice. It's a nice way to get more nightmare. And as you can see, I actually have a lot of nightmare because I've already leveled up all my weapons, and I didn't need any more. But if you look here at, this is sort of like where it's sort of like how you would raise your heat, but you can raise your fear. And you have to have a certain level of fear, and then you beat various bosses. As you can see here, it's the final boss of the surface that I need to beat at each of these different each of these different levels of fear. But yeah, that's kind of how you get more nightmare. Let's see if there's anything that I haven't mentioned. Oh, rubbish. Don't worry about this. As far as I'm aware, this is just weird things that you pick up because of a certain character that you'll meet. I won't spoil too much about that. I didn't talk about mystery seeds. Occasionally you'll find these when you, like from different boons will give you mystery seeds, different characters will give you mystery seeds, but these can grow into just about anything, although I think that it won't give you super rare plants as far as I'm aware. Usually it's going to be a underworld plant, and usually it's going to be like nightshade or a cattail or maybe wheat or poppies. I don't think you get surface plants from mystery seeds, but I haven't confirmed that. Maybe it's very rare to do that. And then you have things like gifts. So you get nectar. We've had nectar in the previous game. We had ambrosia. They're used the same way as in Hades 1. You give them to characters to get their keepsakes. Sometimes you get keepsakes. Sometimes you get and then you can level up your mostly it's for gifting, and you can level up those relationships by giving nectar, and then eventually you can give things like ambrosia, and then eventually you can give things like bath salts, and you can give things like you can go on like fishing trips with people, or like go out onto the dock. Yeah, those are, I won't talk too much about those. I'll let you discover those on your own, but they're pretty cool as well. Witch's Delight used to bond with your animal familiars, which I haven't really talked about yet. I will in just a second. Obol points. If you spend gold, this is getting a little bit overwhelming. I hope this isn't overwhelming you guys, but this is just kind of the state of things. There's just a lot of resources, and I'm like way over explaining this. If you play the game, they'll show you this stuff as you go. You don't need to worry about this. They'll come up as they go. But if you were curious about anything, this is how you find them. This is for spending gold to Charon's shop. So if you bought things from Charon's shop, you'll get Obol points, and then you can use this. Oh gosh, let's see. Let me tell you about that. So you spend that, and you can use that to get orders, special orders, kind of like a prize shop here at this. And you unlock all of these things through incantations at the Couldron, but you can turn in these Obol points for deliveries, and they take different amounts of time. So if you want some more nightmare, you can get it this way. Moon dust, faded fabric. This is a great way to get some of these resources. Like I think I got a lot of my nightmare through this. I got a lot of my moon dust through this. Psyche and ashes, I think you often can get that pretty easily. So I usually save up to at least 3, 4, or 5, because faded fabric is also hard to get. This gets you 10 faded fabric, which there are a lot of incantations that will require that faded fabric, and it's pretty hard to find. Okay, that explains those Obol points. And the last couple are specific for quests in the game. I'm not going to really talk about them very much. You get them eventually, and you'll see a recipe for them, and they will explain what they're for as you get them. It's not anything that you need to worry about or look for or craft at any point other than when the game prompts you to craft them. Okay, so don't worry about that. Then you have fish, and the fish in the game they serve a similar function as in Hades 1 in that they're not really required for any of the they're not required for any recipes, but they can be sold to the Wretched Broker for more bones, which, as we know, bones can be used to buy things from the Wretched Broker. It's a important resource for that. Yeah, let me see if there's anything else that I haven't mentioned as far as resources go. I haven't talked about prestige. Prestige is just used. You recycle resources through the Wretched Broker, and you can get prestige, and that just allows you to get more cosmetic items. So it seems like there's 2 different ways to get cosmetic items in the game. There's prestige, and there are gemstones. To be honest with you, you just kind of have to explore this stuff and see, what. Okay, so you can recycle gemstones for prestige, is my understanding. I haven't done that yet because I wonder if gemstones will be used for something else. I'm not sure. But as you can see here, there are so many incantations, and like if I were to explain each of them, the video would be ridiculously long. But suffice it to say, each of these requires certain resources, and the resources that you gather from a variety of different ways. There's also repeatable recipes that you can do to get like shadow. We talked about shadow. Beast loved morsels in order to get your beasts leveled up, or to recruit your beasts when you first see them, or your familiars. You need these things, and so you need stardust, which is from, well, we talked about this from the chaos trial thing, nectar, moonlight essence. So you get 5 of these to upgrade your arcana, but it costs cinder and shadow, or you can use stardust to get 3 of them. So there's a variety of different ways to get moonlit essence from shadow or from stars. At the Couldron, you can use the Forget Me Not button there down on the bottom right, and you get that from an incantation eventually, but it allows you to mark important recipes. So if you want to collect ash, psyche, and faded fabric, that little little purple finger with the string on it will pop up and let you know, like, hey, you're trying to collect that resource for that incantation that you're trying to make. So you can do that for any of these. Noted. And that'll just let you know, like, these are the resources that you are trying to collect. So those are the various recipes for those things. Oh, I should mention, though, each of the familiars helps you gather certain resources. So you know how you can gather souls. Well, Phrynos the frog helps you gather souls basically you don't have to do the little mini game for the souls. Rocky will collect metals or stone for you, just like pecks it with its beak, and then you get them. Tula will catch fish for you. Fish require a little mini game as well. Hecuba digs up seeds for you. Hecuba does a bunch. I mean, they all do other stuff too, but they're each tied to a different resource gathering tool, I guess. And I should also mention that if you bring the animal familiar that's tied to that resource will show up more often. So you'll get more of that. So if you're looking for metal, you want to bring Rocky. If you're trying to level up your grasp through Psyche, you're going to want to bring Phrenos. Phrenos is the first animal you'll get anyway. These other 3 down at the bottom, you don't get until you've gotten to the surface. So don't worry about those early on. If you're in a rush to find these, I would just say be patient, because it will take a while. But you can get those beast loved morsels in your inventory. Just make sure you have, Witch's Delight. You will need Witch's Delight in your inventory to occasionally give to these animals, so you can kind of craft those early, and then you'll have them available and ready to go when the animals show up. Yeah, Hecuba digs, and then Golly will pick up the little items that you don't need a resource for, but that just means that you'll find more of them. So yeah, that's the basic gist of all of the resources in the game, as far as there are anyway now, which is it's September 14th, about 11 days before the game fully releases. I hope this video is useful to you guys. If it is, whatever you do to support your favorite creators, I don't know, you can subscribe or like or whatever. Leave a comment if you have a question, or check out this other video that I made. That's also, if you want to learn about how to find all the familiars, I made a video about that. If you want to learn about how to unlock each of the legendary weapon aspects, I have a video about that. Yeah, I hope that this video finds you well. Enjoy Hades, and we'll catch you in the next one. Take it easy.